Hi everyone.
Hi. Welcome to 2 Seasons in a Podcast, episode 5.
Welcome back to 2 Seasons in a Podcast, episode 5.
This is the first episode we've recorded in like almost a month. Last one was for Christmas.
Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
No, it's equally my fault. Are you saying sorry for what you did before we started the episode? Oh, You are, okay. So yeah. Shut up. It's 2021. It's a new year. Oh my god, okay. We'll give Elina a couple of minutes.
Did we not already do the whole 2021 thing?
We did, but we didn't talk about how we felt about it while we were in the year.
So it's 2021, I guess.
Yeah. And,
we've been in it long enough already. It's like 2 weeks have gone past.
Exactly 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
So far, pretty shit.
Why?
Nothing's open.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in like a really strict lockdown in Ireland. And I was on the radio as well, actually. They were talking, and I hate to make this about COVID, but on the radio they were talking about how flights to Ireland from the US and Britain, all passengers will now have to have a negative COVID test result. And that was only like 2 or 3 days ago on the radio on my way to work. And I was like, motherfuckers, it's like how many months since March, and only now they're like flights from Britain and the US to Ireland have to have negative COVID test results. Seriously. And I can't go to Penny's because of these people. Honestly, I can't go to a bookshop because of these people. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
The good ones are suffering.
We are.
Yeah.
Stuck inside all the time while those twats are out partying and
There's
stuff.
a lot of chavs and am I supposed to say where we live?
No, I'll bleep it out. Fucking hell.
There's a lot of chavs and a lot of can I say? No, I don't think I can.
What were you gonna say?
Travelers.
They're not technically travelers.
Gypsies.
No,
There's a lot of people on the dole.
Chavs.
That's not what I think of chavs.
But they are.
Oh, they kind of are, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so they're not really the best. But also, you'd be surprised. So, I work in a medical center, and yeah, you should definitely bleep out the location. I work in
people show up. Oh my god, are you leaving a couple of cakes?
I work at a medical center as a receptionist, so we get like a lot of people calling for COVID tests, and one in particular was a HSE worker who had the symptoms and was like, so I'm experiencing this.
HSE is like healthcare.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Organization.
Yeah, it's the main healthcare. It's the Irish healthcare organization in Ireland.
Yeah.
So she's like, so I'm with the HSE and I've been experiencing these symptoms, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, they are COVID symptoms, and I'm like, we can definitely refer you for a test, and since you're a HSE worker, we can put it down for urgent, but like, who gives a shit? Like, we can put it down for urgent anyways. We usually do. But just to kind of like fluff her up a bit over the phone.
Fluff up a HSE worker.
Yeah.
From my experience, not the nicest people.
No, not really.
I'm just saying that because we were
because his mother is a HSE worker.
No.
That's such a proper daughter-in-law comment.
No. We were waitering in a restaurant like a month or two ago, and there was a group of 10 HSE workers. Yeah, a group of 10 HSE workers came in, and I
think it was 12.
Was it?
I think so, because we had to split them up to 6 people tables, and they were at the end of they were at both ends of the room. So 6 of them had to go. They both had to split up anyways. Yeah. The group of 12 had to split up. So,
they had their meal and stuff, and then, you leave a tip.
Not even that, but the guideline is you're not supposed to be in a restaurant or a cafe for more than an hour and 45 minutes.
And they were there for hours.
They were there for absolutely hours and hours and hours. They were the last ones to leave.
Yeah.
It
was like 11 o'clock.
It was after 11 because we closed.
Oh yeah.
It was really late.
And they left 50 cents.
You're skipping so much of this story.
Am I?
So they're HSE workers. They should be the prime example of what to do and how to behave during COVID. So they initially were like, but it's a group of 12. Why are we sitting down in a group of 6? So the waiter had to be like, because of COVID, we can't have that many people sitting at a table. So we split you up.
Imagine if they were like, if they convinced the staff to let them sit together, and then they ended up like suing the place.
Yeah. So we were all like super nervous and we tried to, like, all of the waiters and waitresses, we all tried to kind of stay away and not get too close when we were serving them or putting the plates down in front of them. We tried to like keep the 2-meter distance. So we were all very good, and then they overstayed their welcome. And towards the end, they were asking for more drinks when the bar had closed. And we were like, sorry, no, we can't really serve any drinks. The bar is closed. So they were like, oh, come on, we want this. And then the waiter behind me who heard, he came out, and he's there a long time, so he's got more confidence than I do. And he was like, sorry, no, due to the HSE guidelines. And then collectively, all 12 of them were like, we are the HSE. And like, no, sorry, due to the HSE guidelines, we can't serve you any drinks, which led to only a 50 cent tip from them collectively.
Entitled fucks.
Yeah, they stayed over 3 hours. Must have been about three and a half hours that they stayed. Yeah. We've serving 12 people food, cleaning up after them, getting their drinks all night, and only a 50 cent tip.
Yeah.
It was a massive slap in the face.
That would have been at least... What is the usual tip percentage? 20%?
10% for a student, 20% really for adult people, so making their own. 20% for them.
So that would have been over €200 tip for how many people were working? We would have gotten at least like €20 more tip.
Yeah, we would have.
For the night.
Yeah, and it's not like they can't afford that tip. They're fucking well paid.
Yeah, that's like an expensive restaurant as well.
Yeah, it is actually. Not to say they can't enjoy their time, but it was definitely a slap in the face considering how hard we were working towards them particularly.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways.
Sorry, that came off of a conversation you were having.
Yeah, oh my gosh, you interrupted me
sorry.
this time.
I'm getting payback for all the thousands of times you've interrupted me.
So one HSE worker called on the phone saying that she was experiencing symptoms, kept saying that she was a HSE worker, and I was like, all right, it's not that fucking hard to be a HSE worker. And then she was like,
so many benefits.
I know. She was like, do you think I need to get tested? And I was like, I would definitely recommend, considering your symptoms, that you should get tested. And she was like, oh, but do you think I should get tested for COVID? Because I think it's a whole image thing. So you don't want to call off sick for work, say that you have COVID symptoms, because then that's just making a bad image for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're making everybody else worry at work, like, oh, should I get tested? I was in contact, and this is this. Yeah. So,
which is really the worst attitude to have in this situation.
It is, yeah. But being a HSE worker, you don't want to be. You're like the example, so you don't want to catch it. Anyways, oh yeah, so she kept asking me, should she get the test? And I was like, you should definitely get the test, considering your symptoms, especially because you are a HSE worker, is what I told her. So, and I was like, and I would recommend quarantining straight away. And she was like, oh, well, I'm at work now. Do you think I should leave? I was like, you motherfucker, you're a HSE worker. So what are you doing? Are you in the hospital with people? Are you at a care center? Like, what are you, and you're having these symptoms and you're there.
Yeah. She could be doing, because my mum works for the HSE and she calls to homes to take care of like the elderly people and stuff. She could have been doing that as well, which would be...
And they say being a HSE worker doesn't necessarily mean you're like a nurse or a carer. You could just be a cleaner and be a HSE worker, but you're still in a medical environment, which is what makes you a HSE worker. So, for fuck's sake. There was also this one instance, this isn't anything to do with HSE, but it's just really fucking irritating.
Oh, the gospel.
Yeah.
I live for this shit.
I know. No, but you already know this one. It's the
Okay.
yeah. It's the
Tell it anyway.
Yeah. It really pissed me off. Really, really pissed me off. Especially to do with the flights, because you can book tickets. You can book flight tickets to Ireland for just about 3 days. Or like a return on the day. Yeah. But everywhere on the news, all the government is saying is you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And I'm like, you fuckfaces. If you can quarantine if you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, why are you letting the airport sell tickets for less than 2 weeks? The minimum sell date should be for 2 weeks. And then like, imagine being in England and you're like, oh, I'll visit my parents for Christmas, and you see that the tickets are all for 2 weeks. Would you buy it? No.
Yeah.
That would really decrease the amount of people coming into Ireland if they had to spend more money staying here.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Is it more money for a flight that is like the return is further away from the departure?
Well, I just meant your cost of living here then.
Oh,
You'd end up spending more money here.
Yeah. Well, not if you're visiting family.
I guess.
Sorry, I'm putting a damper on your story. Go on.
It's still more money. I just don't want to explain it.
It's fine. It's fine. I believe you.
What was I saying? So this guy calls and is asking for a medical report from the doctor for his driving license, which is fine. In Ireland anyways, when you're applying for your license, you need to have a signature from the doctor to say that you're medically fit, which requires you to be face to face with the doctor for him to do physical examination. So it was a British number that he gave, and I was like, all right, fine, Ireland and Britain are pretty close. It might just be like a temporary contact number he has, or newly moved. I never questioned it really, because I was like, he can't be this stupid. I just kind of didn't think people like that existed.
People of all types exist.
Yeah. So now I ask anyways. So I was like, yeah, sure, we'll book you in for today. It's €30. This. Comes to the door. And I go up to the door in a mask and I'm like, oh, just wait in your car. The doctor will, give you a ring and tell you when you can come in. So he goes into his car. The doctor gives him a ring. He comes into the medical center, goes into the doctor's office. He's talking to the doctor for a few minutes and then leaves again. And I notice that there's no payment, no nothing. The doctor goes back into his office. He didn't tell me, he didn't say anything to me, which he usually does. He usually goes over to me and is like, no payment or whatever. So I noticed that and I thought it was a bit weird. So he must have been pissed. He must have been really angry to not say anything to me, because he just went straight back into his office. So after maybe about half an hour, I go back into that patient's file and I read it, and the doctor wrote down that he's traveled from England, didn't book a COVID test, has been here for less than 2 weeks, and is walking around with nothing. So the doctor in the notes wrote down, told him to leave to get a test and to isolate, and when he's finished he can then do the driving medical report. But yeah, to walk into a medical centre, to not have a test done, nothing. How stupid, like just walking around the place. I was like, what an absolute asshole.
I feel like that's what the general populace is like.
I don't think so.
I think at least 40% of the general populace.
Well, could you say that 40% of the general populace is like chavs in Ireland?
Where we live.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's so stupid. So because of people like that, I now can't do shit. I can't go to a restaurant. I can't go to a cafe because of people like that.
Yeah.
But the vaccine is out. I'm not going to get it. Everybody's like, why aren't you going to get it? And I'm like, listen, if I could get the vaccine today, which I can because I'm technically a healthcare worker. All of the other staff members got it. Myself and another girl backed out of it.
The two conspiracy theorists.
The two conspiracists. Conspiracists, yeah. Yeah, we backed out of it because it's such a new vaccine. It's not worth doing. But I don't care about it anyway. I never even got the flu vaccine. Why should I get this one?
I feel like... I don't think I'd get it just because it feels like everyone is so incompetent at the moment due to like in these COVID times.
Right.
But I feel like the vaccine would just be not work.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, there's fears of it as well of
And like I'm not in like I don't have a lifestyle that mixes with other people very much.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
really happy he's not going to get the vaccine. Well, I found out from the doctor anyway that the regular flu, so there's like over 20 strains of the flu. And if you get the flu vaccine, it only covers 5. What? Yeah, it only covers 5 strains. And he said the coronavirus one is similar. Because there's so many different strains of it, it can only cover so many. So there's no point at all getting it. But I was saying the only way I could really relate it to them, because they're like, I need to protect myself and I need to protect you guys. But I'm like, bish, I don't I don't give a shit. Think about yourself. Don't think about other people. Just think about like think about protecting yourself. Think about protecting yourself. Because if she's like, anyway, the girl said, I don't want to sound like a sheep, is what she said. But I'm like, all right, that immediately makes you sound like
man.
Yeah, it immediately makes you sound like a fucking sheep. The one I don't like. I'm not going to say names.
Which one? The younger one?
You can bleep it.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't make me do extra work.
Sorry. So she was basically saying that she doesn't want to be a risk for her parents. But I'm like, okay, we've gone this long. You know, we've been as careful as we possibly can. We can be careful for a while longer until they make a proper vaccine. You know?
I feel it's definitely like a kind of lifestyle thing.
Yeah, and if your parents are at high risk, then tell them to go get the vaccine. Why are you getting it? You know? Like, I don't want to get it for my parents. If my parents need it, they should go get it. I think the vaccine is something I would get maybe when I'm 70, because I don't want to die when I'm 70 over a flu. How depressing would that be? A flu gets you. You know? So like that seems reasonable to me. But yeah, I was like, listen, lads, if I could get the vaccine and I could walk into Tesco or I could walk into a cafe, no mask on, and just be served, I would do it. But the fact that I'm still in lockdown, what's the point? I still have to wear a mask outside. Yeah. What is the point?
If there was like a way of checking to see if people were vaccinated, to let them into a shop, that'd be great.
I would get it then. I'd be like, great, I can go travel, I can go to...
It's like a VIP pass.
Yeah, it's like a fast pass.
That's a theme park. Yeah.
That's perfect. But the fact that it's not is like, fine, I'll just wait with the rest of the country until it dies down, because you can still be a carrier, is what they say. So there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point really.
How is she going to protect her parents if she's still going to be a carrier?
I don't care if I get it, but if I pass it on to someone else, I'd feel bad. so me getting the vaccine doesn't really matter. Because, like, yeah. Bit of sickness would do me no harm.
I know. Would build up his immune system.
So yeah, we've been trying to get out of the house more.
I knew this would be a topic.
Yeah.
No,
so
we said that we would.
Stuff we wanted to do, and one of them was.
I was getting upset last year. The past 2 years, I was upset that we barely ever do anything together.
But it is because we didn't live near each other.
There was always a reason for it, but also in my head I'm like, there's no fucking reason. Like, if you want to do something, you can do it. So to top that feeling on top of the lockdown, I was like, wow, we're really not doing anything. So we told ourselves that we would try do something once a week or once every 2 weeks. Because
especially since Christmas, we've been very, very lethargic.
Yeah. So now you can continue on.
So one of the things on our list of stuff we wanted to do was go to the beach.
Specifically in and around. Sorry, specifically.
No, just, it's fine.
Sorry.
My God, like.
Sorry. Specifically
I'm gonna make you edit this fucking podcast. We'll see how you like.
Specifically around our area, because we haven't explored where we live properly yet. That's why.
We're getting out there, but so what was it? It was 2 days ago.
I think so, yeah.
Elina decided that we were going to go to the beach. And not for like swimming or anything, because it was not good weather, but like just for a walk on the beach, which is usually enjoyable. So we set off.
And it was drizzling in town.
Yeah, it was like slightly drizzling.
Yeah,
but it seemed like a nice day. Like, it had brightened up.
I was still kind of like, in my head, I was like, I don't think we should go today.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't want to say anything because I was like, we should do something.
And I kind of forced us to go as well, because I was like, if we don't go, she's just gonna hold it against me again that we didn't go anywhere, so we have to go. So we set off. I thought we were going to a near enough beach, but Elina had planned to go to a beach that is about half an hour to 40 minutes drive away. And on the way there, it was like it's like we were passing through areas and going down roads that seemed like they hadn't seen civilization in like 1,000 years.
All of the houses were so weather worn, and there was nobody outside.
I saw more sheep than people.
Yeah. Ireland is very... If you see a straight road on Google Maps of a drive in Ireland, you know you're going up and down hills. Yeah. Mountains. You know that you're going to... Your poor engine is going to suffer.
And so, I mean, it was fine for half of the journey, but then we got into the fucking boonies of West Ireland, and it was... God, the roads were fucking terrible. They were tiny roads, like super thin, and they were...
It's a one-way road.
It felt like...
For two cars.
It felt like a rally course. Like, rally racing.
No.
What's that? Like rallying, like when they drive down like dirt roads in cars.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so it felt like that, and then we... I'd say about 60 to 70% of the way there, we're getting fed up because we're really hating the roads.
I know at this point it was lashing raining outside as well.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you this at the time, but I was my job was to follow the GPS.
Oh my God.
But I missed a turn.
Yeah.
And you know that really steep hill we had to go up?
Which one?
The really steep one that we were like, oh my gosh, this is your time. Yeah, we didn't have to go up that.
And then we saw that really pretty house with the sheep on the...
Yeah, that was to get back onto the road that we should have been on.
Oh my God.
I'm terrible at following GPS.
He is.
Yeah, and when we finally got there, it was lashing rain. We parked by the beach.
It's never rained harder while we were in a car.
The weather was like we were so depressed and defeated that we didn't even get out of the car.
But I was scared shitless from that drive. I was like, I want to go home, but I don't want to drive back. It was so scary. Yeah. So scary.
So we found a different route on the way back. But even then...
You're going higher and higher and higher when you're driving. So your car... Like, you can go up and down mountains to get there. But it generally, the area that we're driving, even to go back home, you're getting higher and higher and higher and higher, and there's like less support keeping you away from falling off the mountain.
Especially that road that we took to get to the beach. That was ridiculous.
It's so terrifying, and then there's massive, like really, really, really. I don't even think it's a bend. I think it's just corners that you have to drive around. You know, you're going like 80 miles an hour, and then there's a bend that you have to drive.
Yeah.
It's... What are you talking about?
It's... I don't know, that was a weird way of explaining it.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's not corners, it's like bends.
No, it's not bends. It's not a curve. It's a corner.
Right, okay.
Anyway, it was just scary. The whole thing was scary, and then the roads weren't that great at all, and it started raining, and I was like, I fucking hate this trip. Hate it. But then when we drove back
all the way home.
We did. We laughed all the way home. On the road back, I was like, I'm just not going to use Google Maps anymore at all, because I don't know what Google... It tells you the roads that have the least amount of traffic. Right. And so it's like, this is the best route, this is the fastest route. I think I have to not go on that one, because the ones with the least amount of traffic are the most dangerous ones.
I think it just means it's the quickest, like the shortest road.
Yeah, it's the fastest one. But no, it's in terms of traffic. Cause
is it?
Yeah. Oh. But like, because there's no cars ever going on these roads. Yeah. You know?
that's yeah.
So I was like, on the way back, I just followed all of the road signs. I was like, I'm not going to use Google Maps anymore. I'll just follow the national roads. Yeah. And it was much easier. So
that was our trip to the beach.
Yeah. Then, it was a fail. We parked at the beach and just sat in the car with the window wipers on, and we were like, do we even wanna?
We weren't equipped for the weather either. We were like, we had raincoats, but our shoes would have gotten destroyed.
Everything would have gotten destroyed.
Yeah. Not have been worth it.
No.
So that was our trip to the beach. Then yesterday, Elina was like, I found a second-hand bookshop in a town that's like half an hour drive away from us. It's like a huge second-hand bookshop, and they have like 2 stories of books and stuff. So I was like, oh, that sounds cool. We'll go. So
no. Again, you're missing parts out of this story.
Oh, am I?
I specifically called that bookshop because I knew it was COVID times. And I asked them, I was like, are you accepting walk-ins? And the lady on the phone said yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, great. And then she was like, okay, we'll see you here. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And then we hung up.
Yeah, okay. So we set off today, happy out, going to buy some secondhand books.
Yeah.
Because we're both getting into reading more.
Yeah.
You more so than me. I'm reading my manga, but like not books. Not proper books.
Yeah, let it come from him first, and then I'll save it for the rest of these podcasts.
And then we got there, and you said on our way there that it's like above a newsagent's.
Yeah.
Like when we were trying to find the place, you were like, oh, it's above a newsagent's, so we were looking for that. We found the place, and it was a newsagent's on the bottom, and we approached the door, and there was a guy there, and you were like, can we...
There was a guy by the door with a table covering, making sure people can't enter, really.
So you asked, could go up, check out the bookshop, and he was like, no, it's closed.
Due to COVID, he said. And I was like, bish, I know it's COVID.
but you called. You said that you called, and the news agents at the bottom was taking walk-ins, but the actual bookshop was closed, so I
was like, but I called, and the lady on the phone said that you guys were accepting walk-ins. But I called the bookshop. I didn't call the news agents.
I know. It's not your fault. So we walked around. We were both starving, so we walked around the town, see if we could find any place open to get food. And there was nowhere open.
Yeah, because
it's entirely dead. And then we spent an hour there just walking around. We went into a park because we like walking around.
Nasty.
It was just the most boring looking park.
Man, it's
such a nice area.
Yeah,
like the town, but then the park is just terrible.
It's because it's a rich town, and that park was a park that had a really rich house in the center of it. So it's one of those old, like really rich, blocky, like rectangle houses with loads of windows, and it's like the whole courtyard, and it's like on its own plot of land, and it's like the grass isn't cut above, the certain like millimeter, and all of the trees are like specifically in like a certain pattern that you can walk through. It was just so bare. When you look at those photos of those houses in their massive courtyards, you're like, whoa, that's so cool. But it's just so empty.
Yeah.
It was nasty. I didn't like it. We didn't walk it. We walked in and we walked back out.
Disappointed once again.
It looked like one of those, what are they called? Running tracks. Do you know if you...
Yeah.
In American movies or something.
Kind of spherical, yeah.
Yeah, where they show like teenagers in high school running for physical education class, and I didn't want to call it PE because I don't know what they call it up there. Gym. Running for gym, and they have to run the whole thing around.
Yeah.
It looked I was like, I can see where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
And I can see that this is exactly where we're gonna end up. So I'd rather not.
So we.
Very disappointing.
Home. Yeah.
Considering parking took us a while.
It's been like, we were like, we'll get, it was like, what was it, $1.50 for an hour and €5 for the day. And I was like, we'll throw €3 in it for 2 hours, and maybe that'll do us. And if it doesn't, we can come back and top up, just to make sure.
But to even find a parking space was so complicating for us. But it didn't have to be complicating because there was so much free parking in the town. Not free parking, like as in...
Empty spaces.
Empty spaces within the town that we could have used, but I just didn't think it was going to be that dead.
Yeah.
We're very ignorant in this in this lockdown.
It's not our fault.
I know.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know there was another lockdown until I went outside and found that everything was closed. Like, I messaged you. I went for a walk because I was like, I'll check out the charity shops and stuff. And I messaged you and I was like, everything's closed.
Yeah. And he's still like, Penny's is closed, and he's still every day is like, do you think the charity shops will open? And I'm like, no, they sell clothes. Penny's sell clothes. Penny's is closed.
I'm so fed up, man.
I know. I think we're slowly going a bit crazy, to be honest.
If I didn't have so many hobbies, I would go insane.
Yeah.
Like, so for the past week or so, I've been working on my comic. I meant to start doing like the working on the panel layouts and stuff, but I've just been doing the character design because it's taken me so long to fucking design the main character. But I'm getting there. And if I'd say if I didn't have that, I'd be insane. Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
and he thinks he has the shit end of the stick. He's like, oh, you're 2 things now, 2 fun things we couldn't do. And I'm like, man, I have to spend over an hour driving today and driving the day that we wanted to go to the beach. And I'm very limited with the free time that I have. So after that, and today as well, I'm like, I'm wrecked, but I have to go back to work for 8 until 10 to do the cleaning. Yeah. And I'm just not looking forward to it. Anyways.
Going through a tough spot.
Yeah.
It's not really tough, it's just really fucking annoying.
It's long. Yeah. But it's okay, hopefully, because the vaccine is out. You know.
Yeah, maybe that'll open.
Or just maybe this whole thing would be quicker.
Yeah. Kill off the vulnerable.
You used to say you wouldn't mind. What was it? What was that conversation about? Killing off like half the population or something.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, but what if you're a part of that half? You were like, well, it's for the good of the world.
Yeah, that's just environmentalism.
I think we should kill off the rich half.
Because we're...
They're the ones that are screwing it up, really, environmentally.
Yeah. And then redistribute the wealth amongst the rest. Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. So you won't be part of that at all.
Well, not yet.
No, that's like a dig at how you're not wealthy. Sorry. Well, I wouldn't be part of it either.
So yeah, that's been our last couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
You've been reading. What have you been reading?
I've been reading The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Oh, she got through her Pimp book, actually.
Oh yeah, I finished that. Yeah, and so a lot of it was based in the 1930s. He grew up.
This is the Pimp one.
Yeah, the Pimp one. And he, towards the end of he was just talking about his life. So towards the end of the book, he's reached an old age, and he's like happy with his wife and his kids, his 2 kids, and no, not old age. Sorry, he wrote it like he was old, but he was only like 40.
What? He did all that in 40 years?
Yeah, he did all that in 40 years.
Jesus.
But like he says really that you can't be a pimp over 30. Over the age of 30. I don't know, but the pimp that he looked up to in the book, Sweet Jones, he was like 30 but looked like he was 60 with the nature of the job.
Oh yeah.
You know, so he was only like 35 or something in prison for the 4th time, and he was like, I already feel so old for all of this work. What am I still doing, pimping and stuff? So he got himself a wife and 2 kids towards the end of the book, and he was really happy, and it's a bit crazy to see. It's like Hitler kind of like trying to rule the world, and then he reaches an age where he's like over it. I'm calm and I'm collected, you know, like it's just weird. Because towards the end you actually like the person, but also it's like a master manipulator, you know. You'd have to be a pimp, so he's just making the reader like him at the end. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, but he's still out. He's a horrible prick.
That's how he got.
What he's done was horrible. I don't know if
you're one of his hoes now.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. It's definitely changed my opinion. I look at every business person now, or like politicians. I'm like, they make promises just like pimps would make promises to get girls to become their whores.
Yeah.
Sorry, not whores, prostitutes.
Voters to become, or people to become their voters.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. They like whisper sweet nothings in your ear, like, I'll make you so rich, and you know, you're the only one I care about. Let's do this together. And then politicians say the same thing. So yeah, I don't know. And now I'm reading The Handmaid's Tale, and I'm nearly finished it. Which is really
30
good.
pages away.
Yeah. Hopefully I can finish it today. There's not much of a plot in it at all. I don't know if this is a spoiler or anything. It's just kind of a more sociological book about how the society is ran and how it became that, and what people in the society think about everything, you know. How the men feel with the women being treated like that, and how the women feel with how they're being treated. And you know, there's obviously an echelon of powerful women, so the ones that are doing well are like in control of the handmaids, you know, like that. They're called aunts. They're the ones that are training them to become handmaids. Right. So they're obviously doing well, but do they even believe what they're teaching? You know?
So it's like in Promised Neverland.
Yeah, so then we watched Promised Neverland and I cracked. Because it was just too much for me. Yeah. The book is fine. It's not very, I don't think it's very emotional. It's more psychological. But The Promised Neverland is a lot for me. Even the first season. We binge watched the first season with my siblings and they, like, it was just a lot for me as well. I stayed quiet mostly.
You did? I didn't know this.
Yeah. Oren views it as like... Oren, you view The Promised Neverland as an animal factory.
It's because that's what it's supposed to represent.
He takes things as face value.
No, but your interpretation of it was just wrong.
It's not wrong. That's wrong. How I view it.
It's wrong.
No.
Okay, no, that's how you view it, but it doesn't mean that's what it means.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's no.
Explain what you thought of it. Also, spoilers for The Promised Neverland.
Well, right.
Season 1 and 2.
Disregarding the fact that they are grown in that house.
Right.
You know, until they reach a certain age and then they get sold or whatever. What do you call that? They don't get sold, they get what? To me, it looks like they get sold.
Well, yeah, like just like how a cow would get sold off to the butchers.
Yeah, but I don't view it that way because they're children, so I can't make that. I know they're anime children, but like I can't make that separation looking at animated children and thinking of them as animals in a farm. I look at them as if they're like trafficked. And they're not there until a certain age. They're there until there's a buyer.
No, they are there until a certain age.
No, I know, but to me, it just looks like they're there until there's a buyer.
Well, then you're wrong.
I know I'm not.
You are.
I'm not. That's when I watch it. I can't stop thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, yeah, but I can't stop thinking about. The only other connection I can make is trafficked kids, and then I just feel awful watching it. Because then I start thinking about trafficked kids and how they must feel, like in that place, you know. So yeah.
I respectfully disagree.
No.
Yeah.
They could be. Because you don't know, like they sell like organs and what, so they say, and stuff in like the black markets and whatever.
So in real life?
Yeah. So they must be harvested from somewhere. So there could very well be a farm.
From bodies.
Yeah.
Obviously. No, but like I mean like actually I don't know how really. So maybe just killing people. But yeah.
So simple-minded. It could very well be farmed. Which is what I think. So in The Promised Neverland, they eat the people, particularly. Do they save a part though? They save the brain or something, do they?
No, they eat the brain because it's the smartest ones get killed.
Yeah, but then was there a part where there was a body or something in a glass thing of water?
Is it?
There was something like that. I
can't remember if it's that the stupid ones, the less intelligent ones, get picked off earlier, and I think they save the smarter ones until they like get to the oldest point, like 10 years old or something.
Remember that part where she sees, very big spoiler, she sees the monster eat the kid? Was there not in that same scene a part where she sees the kid in like a vial of water or something?
Yeah, they put Connie, they put her body in the jar thing.
Why?
but she's already had like her life sucked out and the flower came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was in the truck previous to that. But they didn't actually see her being killed.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So I don't think it's about trafficking. It's clearly about
but I can't help but view it that way.
Livestock and stuff.
Yeah, but you can treat people like livestock, babe.
Yeah, and that's what's happening in the anime.
No, that's not what I mean. You can treat people like livestock. Not to say that the show was about livestock, but that it's about treating people like livestock.
It's... What?
Nothing.
I don't understand what she's talking about, to be honest.
Nothing.
It's just...
Good lord. It's so difficult and I'm so exhausted.
Look, if anybody agrees with Elina, comment down below.
Nobody ever agrees with me.
What if we get no comments?
Oh my gosh. It's a bunch of men that watch Promised Neverland and they're like, oh, it's about livestock. And I'm like, you take things for face value.
Fucking God.
You simple-minded.
Oh my God.
Simple-minded.
You read too much into it.
No, because I'm a woman. I look at a bunch of fucking kids in a house and they get sold when they reach a certain age. What am I supposed to think? It's a metaphor for animals. No, that's some stuff that actually happens in real life.
Like animals.
No, no.
Yes.
It's literally a film telling you that this is what's happening to kids somewhere else, and masking it as livestock. You can say it that way, but it's like the people who are unaware and ignorant of that type of stuff happening to kids only think of it as a livestock film. It's
not trafficking.
It can be.
Because trafficking requires there to be movement of like kidnapping of
enslavement,
kidnapping children and selling them to others. Okay,
yeah.
So they're being taken, like stolen, and sold to others. Okay, that is different. It is fundamentally different to raising, because if it was livestock, like how I see it, the people would already have the children and they would raise them themselves and then kill them, or prostitute them, whatever you see them as. Okay, what you see them as.
Oh, earlier, sorry, just disclosure. When I said that he takes girls and he turns them into whores, I don't think prostitutes are whores. It's just throughout the whole book, he never says the word prostitute. It's only refers to them as whores. So I've been reading like 300 pages of this whore, this blah, 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 whore. So it just spews out when I say instead. So I didn't mean to call them whores. I know that they're not. They're prostitutes.
Been picking up a lot of slang recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't help it. So yes, carry on.
No, I'm gonna give up.
Yeah.
On that. I don't think there's any way of getting through to you.
Yeah, I can't help it. You look at a bunch of kids in a house and they're being sold and eaten and stuff. I'm like, and they like each one has a different price, and you see a little baby boy there, and you're like Phil, and you're like the poor baby. Can't help it. It's some real life shit.
I know.
To put a damper on the mood.
Alright. Well, do you want to do our anime thing?
Sure.
Okay. So, in the last episode, we used an app that gives us a random anime to watch each. And
that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
and
fun.
then we will watch that in our own time and then do a
anime
short
review
podcast reviewing the anime. Well, the first episode. We watch and review the first episode, which goes up on our Patreon. So if you want to watch that, there's already an episode up there, as well as I think 7 or 8. I think 8 unreleased videos that are available to anyone who pledges, I think, to our second tier. So if you want to watch those, be our guest. So we're going to pick out 2 more random anime, and then in our next podcast we'll pick out more and stuff, and then, so in our last one I got a gay romance one, and you got like a just pure ecchi kind of titties and anti-shots one, which was very funny for both of us. So let's see what we get this time. So I'm gonna spin for you first, and we'll see what you get.
Ooh.
Also, it kind of takes a while, so we'll see.
This internet sucks.
I know.
It's like real time flipping a coin and watching it just swivel around on a table.
It goes up in slow-mo.
No. Do you know when it drops, but it's like spinning?
Oh, yeah.
Should we just use my phone?
No, it's fine. Okay, so you got Najica Denkeki Sakusen. Let's see what that is.
No!
You don't want to read it? It looks like some kind of...
Another ecchi one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking...
It looks like spy stuff. Yeah, it is ecchi. Will I read the blurb? The synopsis? Not the synopsis, but the blurb. Oh. You have to read it out loud.
I
Why
am.
Are you just reading
Perfumer and secret agent is sent out on a number of recovery missions to round up rogue humorists, humorists who are androids with combat abilities. She is assigned a humorist partner, Lila, whom is to groom as an agent. Yeah, I think maybe you should read this.
Because I can read. Whom Najica is to groom as an agent and receive assistance from along the way. As Najica grows to accept Lila, each new mission they embark on reveals more and more about the capabilities and mysterious origins of the humorists. Looks like you'll have fun with that.
I'm not really into Android stuff though.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll enjoy the ecchi part of it at least.
Yeah, that's true.
You did enjoy the last one.
Yeah.
So, spinning for me.
No, I want to spin for you.
What? I already did it.
Well, it doesn't count.
No. We gotta take the first one. Cause if I get
I want to spin for you, though.
Alright, next time. You can do both the spins.
Fine.
Alright. Oh, I got DragonBallZ!
Oh, fuck's sake. That doesn't count!
It does!
That doesn't count. I have to spin for you.
No, it has to count. Fuck yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. Get to watch the first episode of DragonBallZ.
Do you want to read the synopsis?
Sure. Let's see. Or do you want to try and read it?
Bish.
It's quite long. I'll read like the first sentence. 5 years after winning the World Martial Arts Tournament, Goku is now living a peaceful life with his wife and son. That's it. That's the first sentence. It's going to be super interesting.
Alright, so that's it.
Yeah,
so if you want to...
those are our random anime. If you want to listen to us review them, go pledge to our Patreon. Link in the description.
Yeah,
that should be fun.
Okay. See you guys.
No, we're not ending now.
I know, but babe, I've got work.
I know. You've got ages. It's only 7:15.
Okay, I'm nervous.
It's fine. So I might as well go through the comments as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I don't think we've read out the comments on our both.
The last one.
Oh no, we did do that time, yeah. But okay, so there was like okay, yeah. So the last two podcasts, there was no comments on the last podcast, but there was on the second last podcast, which was the last podcast, which was
good lord, man.
I'm sorry. The last podcast, which was the Christmas one, and just said Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
From I'm a fan. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ima.
Ima.
Never know. Fan could be PHAN.
It's not, I read it. It's FAN. And the avatar is a picture of a air fan. Elena's looking through my sketchbook at the moment. I guess we'll finish up soon. I'm guessing you don't have any conspiracies to talk about.
No, and I hate the pressure.
Oh, okay. I'll let you bring it up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
I've been busy reading.
You have. And then what was our other part? Oh yeah, recommendations. Would you recommend any? Have you anything to recommend?
I wouldn't recommend Pimp.
Who's it by?
Iceberg Slim.
Yeah.
Only because it's kind of like, if you can read it without buying it, that would be great. But because you're buying it, it's kind of like buying Mein Kampf, you know? And
didn't you buy 2 of his books?
I did, but I had no idea. Yeah, it's kind of like just giving.
You're putting money in
Hitler
that Pimp's
money.
hole.
Yeah,
You're
no.
putting money in that Pimp's pocket.
I know. I am
hole.
his whore. Yeah.
Well, you're not a whore.
It was what I'm honestly, because you're just reading 300 pages of his thoughts, so you start picking up on his verbiages.
She did get very gangsta.
Yeah, and like the slang and the way he talks and.
Yeah, she backhand slapped me.
No, the stuff he does is too bad, so I feel bad buying the book. So I wouldn't recommend it, only because it's not the. It's very interesting for getting like an insight into what that life was like in the 1930s, because he said it's basically you either pimp or you end up broke. Like pimping was the way to stardom.
Yeah,
you know. So it was interesting from the whole like black perspective. But yeah, even like he spoke about what the life in prison was like as well for him, and anyways, but it was interesting. But I don't know, I kind of feel like it's on my conscience, you know, giving that money.
So you would recommend not reading that?
I would recommend not buying it, but if you're into maybe a person's life story,
stuff.
It's pretty cool. But awful. So yeah.
Yeah, don't get it for someone as a birthday present or something.
God, no. Yeah.
And I would recommend Shantae, the Half Genie Hero, I think is the name. I played it for an OWO episode, I think.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. And I did not enjoy it. But I recently started playing it again because I'm trying to push my way through my backlog, trying to play all the games that have been sitting on my shelf for ages. And I played it and I actually really enjoyed it, and I 100% completed it. Although there are it took like 7 to 8 hours to beat the main story, and then there's like at least 5 other story modes or something. Like you can go through the story again with different abilities and costumes, and even as like completely different characters, which is really cool, which I'm looking forward to doing. So yeah, would recommend that game. It's probably one of the cheapest. No, it's definitely the cheapest Shantae game. I got it for like a tenner, which is really good. Yeah, that's my recommendation. You're gonna
very cool.
Pay attention or look at my sketches?
I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be nice.
Well, what have I been talking about?
Shantae, but I don't give a shit about that.
Cool. So we're gonna head off.
But it is cool. I was thinking about how games that have the least amount of money put towards it really care for
their audience.
Yeah.
Or the quality of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Cyberpunk, that got millions put into it, did fuck all.
Yeah. Because they tried to do too much.
Don't. He keeps supporting them like a bad.
I'm not.
Like a bad girlfriend. You know, stop running back to it, babe.
I'm not.
You need to accept the truth. Yeah, you deserve better. Yeah. You deserve more than that. You don't deserve to be treated that way.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna head off before Elina checks out even more.
Nude drawings.
Well, you haven't gotten to that yet. So thank you very much for listening.
Yeah.
We hope
his character at the age of 52 just has a few wrinkles on her face, but she's great Asian. Boobs.
She's Asian. They don't age. Yeah. Oh, fucking stop! You're distracting me now.
Jeez, he just hit me. I didn't hit you. He just slapped me across my face. Wow, like.
Oh my god. So yeah, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, whatever.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon now. You can check it out in the description if you want. Support us, help us improve our production quality a bit. I would like to get another mic just so we don't have to sit near each other while we record this.
Oh, you don't like the close knit and
no, the close knit.
The close knit is what I said.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's what I tried to say, anyways.
So yeah, we're gonna head off, and hopefully we'll have another episode up in like 2 weeks instead of like 3 or 4, like we have done this week. Yeah. See ya. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Follow the HSE COVID guidelines. We can get through this.
We can if we stick
hopefully
together.
By March.
But don't get vaccines.
Yeah, don't get the vaccination. You can still be a carrier. Who the fuck? Who gives a shit? You can still carry it on to people who are high risk.
You're safer just not partying and going to social occasions. Just stay home.
Yeah, stay home.
Play video games.
Have food delivered.
Listen to 2 seasons of podcast.
Catch up on everything you've wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm catching up on my reading.
Catch up on all our videos.
Sure, fine.
Watch them through chronologically, one after another.
So yeah.
Comment on all of them, like them, share them.
Make
with your
the
friends.
most out of this solidarity.
Yeah.
You liking the big words I'm using?
I am. Where are you pulling it? You reading them from somewhere?
No.
Where are you hiding this piece of paper?
I don't know. I just feel smarter, so I'm talking smarter.
Okay. So I'm trying another one.
No. I'm nervous.
What's the biggest word you know?
I don't know. Now I'm nervous. I don't know what the biggest word I know is.
She's a phony. Alright, we're going. Toodles, everyone.
Humongous is the biggest word I know. Because it's big.
You sad bastard.